Luke can hear everything. It's weird.
Oh, you are a little sore. You feel?
guy.
Do you have a little sore throat?
Like Babylon.
What?
Just, just do this. Go.
Hang on, guys.
Do a V.
Clearing my throat.
Do a V.
V.
It'll clear off. Yeah. Anything that's on your cords, it'll clear it right off.
That's good to know. We're going to cover that in his opera, but you know what? I have a very special medicinal way of clearing my throat.
Water.
I love water.
Yeah, it's
That's
water.
a really fancy water bottle.
Just a little bit of water to start the podcast.
Dash of water.
Would you like to do the honors?
I don't know how. Is it?
Ring the doorbell.
Yes.
I love
The
it.
first
Like
thing
she didn't know what she was doing.
when my mom came in, that's the first thing I showed her in our house.
Pure water.
Pure
Cheers,
water.
guys.
Pure water.
Cheers. Cheers.
I guess we should probably start. It's New Year's Eve, and we're here in the studio, and I'm super happy because I actually have some of my besties. We got a studio audience tonight. Woo! Well, come on, we can do better. Woo! And this is water.
Smells
Happy
like
New
it.
Year.
Happy
It
New
smells
Year.
like water. It smells like water.
The
So
New Year edition.
yeah, so thank you guys for coming. So we have no idea, and by we I mean you guys who are watching, have what's going to show up on this podcast. However, it's going to be something in the entertainment industry. We're going to wind up circling all aspects of that. So far, we've talked about getting into the industry of acting, having directors on, having a little bit of, all the different pieces. And what I love about yours is your stories are very different, but yet you have moved to LA. You are now working with actors. You came at this industry a very different angle than a lot of people. And in a short time, you've kind of broken out. So why don't I start with who wants to go?
You first.
Fingers in.
Him.
You.
Yes, you.
I'll go second. Ladies first.
Ladies first. I feel like mine's
first.
shorter.
Come on, girl.
Okay, so are we saying how we started in the industry?
Tell us a little bit of your background. Something people wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I grew up loving theater very much. I was in theater from 6th grade till I ended. And then I left school, finished it online in the summer, and then went into esthetician school. And while I was working in esthetician school, I stumbled upon this guy who was like, "Hey, I heard you do makeup. You want to come do a event for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I mean, I want to practice." And it was a charity event that was very frisky. Did not know that before I went. However, everybody was getting body painted. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I met a woman there. Her name's Trina Mary, and she does body paint. She's a world champion body painter. And then I ended up going and working for her, traveling around the world. And that's how I met him, because I was in LA at the time. And then that's how everything got started.
That's really interesting. I didn't see. I've known them for a while, and now I've got all the details that you're seeing it real time. And then we'll cover where you're at today and what's going on.
Yes.
But now I got a little
This is
background.
the beginning.
Now, you have a very non-traditional way of getting involved in this industry. Come on.
Oh, it's been weird, man. It's been such a great ride. But the way I started was I was already in the world of entertainment. And so I started as a musician. And I studied at the Juilliard School my senior year of high school with Cynthia Hoffman, who's a vocal technician, and she's one of the greatest teachers actually alive today. And from there, I was 16, and I also was singing with the Boston Symphony Orchestra. And I was kind of like traveling all over the country. No, actually all over the world by that point. I had sung already in Europe. I sang all over the States, and I decided to pursue a career in music because I just loved it. I mean, my heart was beating for music. And so I studied at the Eastman School of Music for my undergrad, and then I got a master's in vocal performance at Rice University. And then the pandemic hit, and I had been, at that point, performing all over the world, like I was saying, and everything fell apart. The whole world fell apart. And I was like, all right, I got two options here. It's like, I have no job, so it's like I move home and do nothing, or I could like get my butt in gear and kind of download this TikTok thing that I was hearing about and like give it a whirl, And so from that day on, it's like I had $12,000 to my name. I dropped every penny to make content, where it was like drive-through videos, where it was like buying every single thing on the menu at McDonald's. And people were daring me. They were giving me these insane, elaborate dares. And what I would do afterwards was I'd go bring it to the homeless, or I'd bring it to the firefighters, or to the shelters. And because for me, the whole thing was I get to help people smile and forget about the world for a while. And it's just kind of like my whole brand is like making a difference in other people's lives, making them where it's like the world's in total shambles, where it's like George Floyd had just been killed, pandemic is striking, everybody's on lockdown, the whole world's falling apart. And I was like, if I'm sad, and I'm never sad, the whole world must be falling apart, right? So I was like, I'm going to make people smile. And I just haven't looked back. And, 9 million followers later, here I am, where it's like, moved out to LA, met the love of my life. And getting to it's you, man, it's you. And we've just been helping people, where it's like now we're starting to work with, we've been working with actors, actresses, supermodels, rappers, hip-hop artists, every single facet of the entertainment industry. And now we're writing TV shows, and it's just like this has taken a whole shape of its own, like it's its own dimension at this point now, where it's like sky's the limit. There's no failing. It's just like have fun, use your imagination to help people.
That's awesome. And that's what I think people are going to want to hear, because everybody looks at these apps, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it was. Go back to MySpace, whatever. They're going to keep coming, and there's going to be new ones. And, whether you lean into it, what motivates you, what's the thing that, gets you there. Now, my question to you is, what keeps you motivated to doing it, right? Because like you said, you've hit huge numbers, both of you. I remember, actually, I'll tell you guys, I remember when Anna said, I'm going to start doing YouTube. Next thing I know, in LA a few months ago, she gets the plaque. I'm like, and then now
So
where are you at?
random.
500,000 almost?
Yeah, almost 500,000.
Yeah, and that was in a few months.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know how that happened, to be honest with you. Like just literally
Talent.
reposting content.
Pure talent.
That's right. Yeah. So most people only dream of being able to get into this space. And obviously I'm targeting from a different perspective, everybody who's been in the film industry, actors, etc. That's kind of my background. But I'm so blessed to be around so much talent, and a lot of people in the influencer space are moving to LA, trying to collaborate, put it together. And you guys are at the top of the game, as I mentioned, because you're not out there just doing a dance video. As you said, you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying you're entertaining in a different way. There's creative content. Same thing with you. There's an artistic element. So what I'm getting at is, where do you take your content? And furthermore, now you said you're working with other people, give me an example of that, where people are like, oh, I wanted to get on TikTok, or I heard about, kind of fill in some of these details for people who are watching, because they see these numbers and they're like, okay, that's impressive as hell, but I don't know what to do.
It's funny because, actors, actresses, everybody is trying to get onto TikTok and, social media in general, right? But especially TikTok, just because that's where the exposure's at right now. And so it's like we're working with Terry Crews. We were making content with him. We're hanging out at his studio just like this. And it's like, he's like, let's make some videos. Let's make some TikToks. And it's like, never have would I think in a million years would somebody at Terry Crews' caliber be like, I want to make some TikToks. It's like,
and especially since we have less followers than him, and then we meet influencers who don't even have as close to followers, just more than us, and they're like, oh yeah, I don't really want to film right now because they have less followers.
There's these people, some people are so
themselves.
pompous in this like influencer, you could call it, creator space, where it's like they think that they are top of the top in the world, that they are, and they're full of it. They're full of themselves, and it's just like, and then you meet somebody like Terry who's just like humble. He's like, I don't go to these parties, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. I want to be a good influence on the world. And it, like, after that, we kind of stopped hanging out with influencers a lot, just because we want to be around the humble people, like the people like Ryan Reynolds, where it's like, even when we met Ryan, it was like he was so humble, just like wholesome, happy human being, you know? And same thing with Terry, and same thing with a lot of the guys who are at the top, where it's like they don't, you know, I mean, they're not full of themselves in that regard. They're always ready for the next adventure, how they can help people and how they can make a difference in the world.
You know, you say that, and I'm going to throw something to both of you guys. And let me spin it to a different angle. When you meet actors, I've met many, and they're starting their career or wherever, and they book a movie, and then they find out that they're not rich and famous. They may book 30, 40 movies. And I say it's a marathon. If you're going to be an actor, you'll be blessed if you can run your whole life as a working actor. Almost, you know, it's like a one-hit wonder in music versus a long career. And I wonder if, because of your background from music and that, and you know, you see a lot of these people who start a TikTok and then it blows up, and they're so myopic. They're just so focused on, how do I get more followers, versus now I built this marketing engine or this platform where people are interested in what I'm doing. How do I run this thing longer? Is that it? And maybe that's where I don't want to, I know I'm going to get hate. Go ahead and flame it up. Where the true creators of artistic versus I'm just chasing a trend is, I mean, honestly, I'd love your thoughts where
we have seen so many, like how you're saying, like to address the starting out, right? Where it's like the starting actor where they're like, oh, they're hungry for it, and then they get a really big head. It happens in the creator space too, where it's like we've seen people who have gone from like top of the mountain to right back at the bottom because they're so obsessed with their famous birthdays, or so obsessed with their, so many times have we seen that, where, and then they fall off, like what you're saying, where it's like we can go and look at their page and see, oh, they have 8 million followers, but they have 10,000 views on every video, or they have, you know what I mean? It's like, because they're no longer authentically themselves, it's called this falling off. And it's so fun to see it happen, because you can tell what their intention is. You can tell when it shifts to, it's about me, it's about me, it's about me, rather than it's about making a difference in their lives. It's about making a difference in the people's lives and making them smile. Because it's like TikTok, just like with TV, it's like people are watching it for a reason. They're trying to escape from the world. They're trying to escape from all the stress of everything. That's why, at the end of the day, I'll be like, hey, let's watch some cartoons, because I don't want to watch people. I'm so sick of seeing real life. I want to see something that's not real. Like, put Pokemon on. Like, I want to see this animated world that I can go to and not rely on people, because I'm so sick of the chaos of the world, you know? So it is really funny to see how people will say, oh, especially with this OnlyFans community and period of time that we're in, where it's like people starting out as amazing creators and they're like, I will never do OnlyFans. I remember being at events like this place called the Wish House, which was it was that huge gambler's old mega mansion. What was his name? It's something Ian. Dan Bilzerian. It was Dan Bilzerian's old house.
I didn't know that was his old house.
Yeah,
the Wish House.
Yes, the Wish House was Dan Bilzerian's old house. And so I remember being there with friends, and like there was this one person like who somebody asked him, they're like, oh, what's your OnlyFans? And we literally had to leave the place because it was so offensive to that person, and rightfully so. I mean, like, they didn't want to be associated with that. They thought it was rude and abrasive, and that's totally cool for them to feel that way. And then, you know, come 2 years later, now they're on OnlyFans, and they're, you know what I mean? And it's so funny to see how this whole industry alters people.
It started off innocent, and then it gets worse with time.
Is it for the money, the likes, the
attention, clout, 100%
money? Views. For sure.
Clout.
No, for a fact. They've said it.
It's not.
It's about
It's the
views.
attention.
Yes.
It's the
how can I get more followers in a shorter amount of time?
But
like
the
certain
money
creators
they're
that we
making
know.
too. I happened to be on a trip just a few weeks ago talking with somebody who happens to be on OnlyFans. No judgment at all. And then we're talking, and next thing she's like, let me show you. Because I literally, I'm going to be honest, it's not, I have no judgment. I would look at OnlyFans tomorrow and be like, but I never did. She logs in and she's making over 100,000 a month. Like, you hear these numbers and you
that's
go,
not even that much for OnlyFans.
I know. So. And I'm like, she's like, I don't know.
Like,
and I'm looking at this and I'm sitting next to her. She's 20. And I'm going, wow, 100, and some of them were close to 200,000. And I'm going, and she's like, yeah, I'm investing in this, and here's my retirement account. I'm like going, you're 20. You're making over $1 million. Well, like, and I'm going, so that's why I go, I guess maybe some people doing it for the money, some are doing it for, but I think to me, it almost seems much more like the likes.
But if you if you look at Dwayne Johnson, if you look at Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, none of them are on OnlyFans. And it's for a reason. And the thing is, it locks you out of so many
I think
things,
once you're done.
You know? And
once you're done, it's like...
You have 2 years to make as much money as possible, and then it's the next person, and then it's the next person,
it's
and
like
then
social
it's the
media,
next person,
the next person, the next person, the next person.
But the difference with social media is that if you're giving back to the world and trying to make a difference, your content and creativity never really runs out, because it's not about you, it's about them. And you get in touch with like, what is going on in the world? How can I help people? Because it's like, you know, it's so funny. Like, we're watching Trisha Paytas right now on our For You pages on TikTok, and she's done so many things to get canceled. Logan Paul has done so many things to get canceled. And recently people called them geniuses, because it's like they're doing these insanely controversial things, like Trisha Paytas doing blackface, or Logan Paul filming somebody in the suicide forest in Japan. It almost seems like people forgot about that, or the new generation, Gen Z, is like watching his content, not even knowing that he did that. Because, you know, a lot of these kids are young. And so they don't, you know what I mean? They don't even have the capacity to understand. He is literally banned from a country and never allowed to step foot there again, because he's a criminal there.
No,
you know, but people call him a genius because they're like, he did that on purpose. He'll say,
you beat me to it
forward and say, I did that on purpose because now I'm relevant again.
That's what
and
I was
then
just
his
about
sales
to say.
will go up, or whatever will happen. But it's like, if you have to do that to stay relevant, that's kind of, I feel sorry for those people.
Right.
I feel sorry for the people who say, oh, I was doing it to stay relevant and now I'm getting more views than ever. It's like, yeah, that's sad. It's sad that you had to stoop that low to do something so criminal or so controversial or so disgusting that's how you're getting back on top.
But that goes back to the attention conversation we were talking about.
It's all about attention.
It's
people
all
are
about the attention.
Because the money means nothing to them. They have all the money in the world. What's next? I need attention. I need attention. It's like, yeah, when you do it for those reasons, it's like, sure, you'll get attention, but why would you want that kind of attention?
So how is it different than working with like somebody, like you said, I know some of the clients you have, they're very big, they're household names. Working with someone who's been traditionally trained as an actor in the industry, how to, you know, my favorite thing that I see being in the space as director, and that is when I'm on set, there's 50 people. There's the director, there's the actor, there's the relationship. I'm getting what I want out of you, but there's all these people watching, and you're in the moment, right? I have some actors out there in the audience who are, you know, just shot national commercials. There's a ton of people around you who are watching every little thing here. But the difference with the creators is they're like, here you go. This is it. You're your own director, your producer, your lighting, your grip, gaff, the stage. So I've found that it doesn't translate. When you put them and be like, you need to do this, they melt down. So going back to like go ahead, you're going to say something.
Well, it's funny because the people that it's not a problem. It's just that are more like high maintenance aren't them. They're more like, okay, just do whatever and post it. We've actually had more problems with people who don't do acting. They're trying to look, you know, a certain way. They're more worried about their features. I feel like they're more focused on them than they are the actual film, the art of making.
Actually connecting with the audience.
But the actors are. It's interesting.
And it's funny you say that because like I remember being on stage in front of, I don't know, it was just a couple hundred people, but it was me and 4 other influencers or content creators, if you will. And it's so funny because how you're saying it doesn't translate. Where it's like, these guys don't know how to work a crowd. They don't know how to hold themselves. Where it's like, I remember one kid was, you know, crossed his legs and was holding his hands like this, and he was totally stiff. He was so uncomfortable in his, you know, he's like shaking and stuff, and it's like, and I'm over there just improvising the whole thing, just being like, hey, we're having a good time. How is everybody doing today? You know, and it's funny, but I also have performed in front of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people.
Exactly.
Right. So it's a little bit different, even though I'm terrible with public speaking. Oh, I get nervous about public speaking.
Really?
I can sing in front of...
I just learned something.
I can sing in front of 100,000 people, but that's because I've trained. I've gone through over 10 years of training. Yeah, I've been doing it since I was 13 years old. And it's like, yeah, I have experience doing this. But with speaking, it's like, yes, we do it every day, but public speaking is so different.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, because I had the training of like, yes, I've delivered lines, doing Broadway shows or doing operas or whatever, where it's like, okay, I know what it's like to be in front of people. I know what they want to see. I've watched enough, like, what I actually would watch is like Jimmy Fallon or Stephen Colbert, and the way that their guests would appear and how they speak. And it's like, how are they so comfortable in front of this live studio audience and also about to be, they're being filmed, makeup, all this. And it's like, okay, I'm just gonna watch them and see how their body language is. Like, what do they say? What do they do? They're so fucking funny. Those guys are there's
in the moment.
No, seriously.
There's nothing there.
Exactly.
They're in the moment. And that's what we teach as acting, where it's
I was on a panel for actually where we met. It was some off-brand VidCon. And there was barely anyone in the audience. But for me, the whole point of doing social media was to set a good example for kids. For when I was younger, I would see like Miley Cyrus doing her thing. Like when she started to transition, I was like, oh, this is such a bad example. Or like Demi Lovato doing her thing. And it's like, I was like, I want to be a good example. So whenever I was able to public speak on the panel, I was the one talking the most because I'm like, I get to reach kids. There are so many kids in this audience. And if I can say anything inspirational, I'm going to just... all of it would come out, and I was the one talking the most because I was the most passionate about it, and also have a theater background. So, performance is,
comfort to be in front of an audience, and interesting. So I'm gonna take it for a different angle because then we'll come back because I want to talk about your content. But there was something we were chopping it up, and I learned a ton because, for you guys know, yes, I kind of dabbled into TikTok, and I really post all the time. Never, I know, but I did it because I needed to understand the industry. If I'm going to be directing, got to know all the different pieces. But what I found out from you is how diverse the spaces between TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You were showing me the analytics. So give me what that's like, basing your entire business model, if you will. You're basing your entire careers or your business on something that it seems like you have no idea what's going to happen the next day.
Oh man, it can be really stressful.
So I got a job.
Yeah, so we started a company, but the thing is, like, starting out, it's like, okay, first we're making $0. There's no creator fund or anything. It's just making a difference in people's lives, making people smile. Getting our videos onto Ellen DeGeneres, MTV, SportsCenter, CNN, wherever it was. I mean, national, international coverage, right? And then all of a sudden, everything's paying out. First thing you know, you're making $750 a month. $750 becomes $7,500 a month. $7,500 becomes $75,000 a month. And it's like, whoa, crazy. Life is so good. And actually, when you and I had met, I was making like $150,000 a month plus just from my views.
Just on the views, not sponsorships.
Solely, not a single brand deal, just purely solely on my views.
Checks.
Yeah. And
from
it's like
all the different.
Yeah. From all Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. I'm missing one. But that's okay. YouTube. Right. I wasn't even on YouTube
Pinterest.
Pinterest.
Yeah. So that's another one, right? So you've got all these revenue streams as a creator.
You know what's funny is like the one I get the most excited about is Pinterest. And I'm like, I have 185 followers.
You do?
Yeah.
I think I have 30.
What?
I'm jealous. You have 5 times
Anytime I get a notification, I'm like,
All right, everybody follow us on Pinterest. I don't know what my Pinterest name account. But,
exactly.
We'll figure it out. We'll put it in below us afterward.
Yeah, but what's funny about it is that it's like, you go from, 6 months making $100,000 plus, all of a sudden, you get no notification. It's not like a job where it's like, hey, you have 2 months left. Hey, you have 2 weeks left. No. You have to take an entire month to figure out, I think it's just my content. There's something wrong with my content because now I'm not making any money at all. It goes from $150,000 a month to $1,500 a month.
Wow.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Very blessed.
Very blessed to be making anything.
No, but still, you can say that, but I want everybody to know, I've seen, different things. I had Jensen, who's 16 on here, and he's spending 4 to 5 figures to make one YouTube video out of his pocket. And if it doesn't do well, It's all gone.
Right.
So it's not just like, I'm going to go film stuff. I've seen the amount of effort you'll put into these things. Yeah. How many hours does it take? We were talking about this the other day. Come on.
Yeah.
My longest body painting, just the body painting part, was 14 hours. And then you add the setting up because you're your own lighting, you're your own camera crew.
You have to go buy all the materials.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The amount of time I would spend just setting up the lights alone was the most irritating thing. If I could take away one thing, it's the freaking lighting. I don't get it at all. Well, it's the worst.
That's this industry.
But then not only is she doing all of that work, but then she's scripting it, which she's not accounting for. She's talking solely about the painting is 14 hours, right? She's scripting it. She's filming it herself.
She's going and buying the paint.
She's going to the store buying the paints. She's spending all that time driving around to all these different stores and then saying, I've just driven to 3 different cities. Now I have to order it off of Amazon or wherever. And then she has to edit it all. That 14 hours of filming, she has to then edit 14 hours of footage. Or if she, got it down to 2 hours of footage, right? Whatever it might be. And it's like, wow. So it's more than 14 hours. It's
but
really
it destroys, like, especially when they came out with the money aspect of TikTok, Instagram, whatever, it made it so much harder to want to create because I'm seeing people who do a dance video and it gets 20 million. I'm like, man, my life, like, what am I doing wrong? It makes it not fun anymore.
Even for me, it's like, we're together. We're both content creators. And it's like, I'll spend, because I used to spend, 6 to 8 hours a day filming this Karen series where it's like I was one of the proponents of like the whole Karen movement where I had this neighbor Karen and she wouldn't stop calling me Ethan. Of course it is. This is just an example of it, but like, I couldn't even post it on TikTok because they would take it down. But like, basically it's like she would trash my house. She wouldn't stop calling me Ethan. And I had, I have very crass sense of humor, if you will, like SNL kind of style. And I would just like do things to, make her help push it along. Of course, it's all scripted. To the point
where she needed to let go.
Yeah, of course, it was all scripted, and Karen wasn't really a neighbor. It was my mom and all these things. People who are going to watch this are going to be like, it was his mom, like years later, right?
Time.
Oh my gosh. I mean, they all knew already.
Well, reality TV is not even real. And
right.
I mean,
what are you talking about?
I'm sorry. Yes,
the Kardashians aren't real.
I know it's fake. Everything's fake.
Everything's fake.
Except for this. This is real.
This is real,
I was so sick of spending all of this time. It was like $1,000 per video to make, and then it would take all the driving, like we were talking about. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. And so I just started doing simple things like throwing balls into a sink and like making it even more about the people more directly, where it's like, your dad must give you $10.10, and it's like up to fate. You know what I mean? Where it's
but for what I love about this is 800 plus comments, 100,000 likes. Yeah. Now, what's 1,000 comments on something? You tell your dad yes.
Oh, I know, right? No, it's like it's all the tags. People tag.
What if you don't have a dad?
My dad left. What dad?
What dad?
I know. My dad's in jail. Like, but a lot of them are like tagging people too. And
right.
But if we look at the analytics, it's like, the video's 8 seconds long, as you can see at the top, and the average watch time is 10 seconds. So I'm making content that's just so watchable.
Yeah,
so
that means they're watching it more than one.
Exactly. And that's kind of the secret with social media. It's like, if you can do the shorter form content, if it's like 7 to 12 seconds, and Anna's looking with the glazed look over her eyes. Because she spends so much time. She'll make a minute-long video. And, sometimes they might jump up to 17 million views or 20 million views.
My biggest video is a minute and like 3 seconds of me dressing up like Hannah Montana.
Right. And that's because the average watch time is longer. You know what I mean?
What's more important? Is it views, watch time, dwell time, platform?
It depends what you're looking for, right? If you're looking for brand deals, if you're looking for pay, you want higher views. So if you notice the views on this video, it's 1.8 million views, but I only have 106,000 likes. So it's just under 10% engagement with the likes, right? But that's okay.
And 10% is kind of the magic number?
10% is like the magic number. Yeah. Where it's like, it's going to probably hit, right? But again, it's mostly about that watch time. Because like now TikTok is starting to become kind of like YouTube, where it's like, people who aren't even on the platform are like watching the videos, just like with YouTube, where it's like you go onto Google and the videos kind of pop up, and it's like they don't need to have a YouTube account to watch the videos on Google.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of becoming more like YouTube in that kind of sense. So it's like if we look at a YouTube video where the engagement is like way less, like, and it's because of that exact thing where it's like if we go to my channel, right? It's like, let's go to one of the more popular videos, right? So popular. This one has 46 million views, right? It only has 800. Oh, it's not pulling up, but it's got 46 million views.
Oh, I think
and it has, let me go back to the screen mirroring so we can all see it. But it has only like, with 46 million views, let's see. It's going to let us watch it? No, it won't let us watch it, but that's okay. It has 800,000 likes for 46 million views. Yeah, let me put back on.
Is that on YouTube?
That's on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we could pull it. Yeah, we could fill it in.
Yeah, we can't see it, but you can see that it has 46 million views. It has 800,000 likes.
Oh, this is the waxing where you let everybody rip your hair out.
Yeah.
Now, what I love is you've gone from Cheese of Truth.
Yeah.
You've gone through the balls in the sink. You've gone from being waxed. You've been
tattooed.
Everywhere.
Shaved his
Literally
eyebrows.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when you run out of space on your body? There's no.
Oh, I mean, they only have one leg. So this is my TikTok leg or my social media leg where it's like they get to choose all the tattoos on this leg. They've given me this life. They get my entire leg.
You're giving them a leg.
I'm giving them a
How
leg
about an
for
arm?
a career.
Because isn't the expression an arm and a leg?
Well, actually, I did
That's a
the
good
palms of
point.
my hands too.
Yeah, he did his hands. He did do
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
so
And
that's
you did the bottom of your feet.
I do the bottoms of my feet all the time. You know what's cool about the bottoms of your feet? If you get
You
a tattoo
told me
there?
this, and he's been trying to get me to do one. It might happen.
I think you should.
Goes away.
Because
Just do it.
they come off.
Yeah, they come off. Permanent tattoos on the bottoms of your feet wear off after 2 weeks. Permanent tattoos are permanently gone.
All right.
Life hack for those of you watching.
If we get enough comments, we'll do it together.
Oh, let's do it. What
Yes.
do you want to get?
Exactly.
We should get made in Italy.
I want to do the reverse foot. A friend of mine actually got a camel.
On his toe. My friend did that.
We're just
too,
going to leave it at that. You guys fill that one in. Okay, so yeah, we went pretty deep. Obviously, understand now why you guys are getting so many consulting things, because it is such a mystery, because it's changing every day. And unless you're living this life, which you guys are, and when I say living this life, I mean living. It's not a 9 to 5. I don't think you could you be successful being a 9 to 5? YouTube, TikTok. I think you need to be.
Well, you know what? Some people are. They'll do like 9 to 5 where it's like every single thing is staged. Every single thing is scripted. They hire like producers. They hire cameramen. They hire the script writers. For us, we don't do it that way because that's not organic for us, where it's like, well, especially for me, it's like whatever's happening in life is basically, it's like, okay. And that's why I got these glasses as
Fancy
a Christmas
glasses,
present from my best buddy.
Best.
Because it's like you just never know when there's going to be a moment where it's like, that is the craziest, funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Do it again real quick. Let me film it. You know,
Right,
and it's like, and that's the thing where it's like a lot of the content that I will do is just comes from life, where it's like, you know, being a goofball with Anna, and just like whatever is happening in reality, where it's like I'll pretend that I'm a cat a lot of times and she'll be on her phone not paying attention to me, and I need attention, but the only attention I need is from her. And so you know, she's got her coffee and I'm just pushing it off the table like I'm a cat. I'm going meow meow meow, and I was like, wait, let's film that real quick, and it gets 20 million views or 15 million views
Very
all
in
of a
the
sudden.
moment.
Super just in the moment. Or
And
like
it works really well when we do consult, because I'm very much, let me look up trends ahead of time. Let me think of stuff ahead of time. So we film my set of content, and then after I'm done, we go to him, and anything he thinks in the moment, we do it. And so it's
and for both of us, it works, where it's like, that's why it's like a dynamic duo, where it's like we go to the clients and it's like we have this formula of like, I'm a very in the moment person, and is a very brilliant like planning and organizing person, and together we combine the two. It's two halves of the brain, right, into one,
in a male and a
it makes
female
the whole.
case too.
Absolutely.
So you get both opinions.
Interesting. What is your? No, I want to say what's your favorite, because that's if there's content. Yeah. Oh, you're laughing. I'm going to leave it. Go ahead and just throw. What's your favorite?
What about you?
Favorite what? Favorite
content to make, working together on projects.
Oh, I love our couple content.
It's funny because I was single for 4 years, and this is like the moment I've been waiting for. I'm like, oh, what content can I make? And so I love surprising him. I'll dress up in like a complete, like I dressed up like Spider-Man once, and he left, and then he came back, and then I was dressed up like Spider-Man, and it was like a fun, what do you call it? surprise. And
or like when we first started dating and we went to Hawaii, she made an announcement to the whole world in this video where she was, her sister was like, no, I swear you're lesbian. I swear you're lesbian. And she's like,
growing up, my entire family. Like,
I have a boyfriend. I'm like, hi, on a boulder in the, where, what's it called? The blowhole, very famous blowhole on the east side of Oahu. And yeah, so that's that video. But like, it's also so fun because it's like, I have so many tattoos. And one day she was like, hey, will you get a tattoo of my name? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So in this video, it's like Ella Anna choose a tattoo, and there it is. I got a tattoo of my name. The words my name, because it's like, just being a goofball. And I went up and she saw it and was like, are you kidding me?
But I mean, look at the 66 million.
Yeah.
Think about
his
how
views
many
are
people.
freaking insane. He's his own breed.
People were calling us earlier today, actually while we were at lunch earlier. And this is what they were talking about. They're like, yo, every single person I'm talking to is like falling off. The views are really low. And he was like, are your views dying? I was like, dude, go to my page right now. And you'll see like the views are healthy.
Right.
For how many followers I have. Million. Usually I would say on average like 1 million. I post every single day.
And he like if it doesn't do well,
on here.
Yeah, 5 million, 3 million, 9
million.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
And
he doesn't accept anything less. If it does bad, he will work until it goes viral.
Yes,
like,
I will
not stop thinking about it. I hear about it every second.
Oh.
He's like, I need to do a balls of fate. I'm like, you just did a balls of fate. He's like, no, but it needs to be different this time because it didn't get views. And I'm like,
right, and that's the creator.
Yep.
Right?
That's right, where it's like, this isn't making a difference in people's lives, or it's the algorithm. And it's just like,
that's
you know what?
Part.
I just started this new series called The Ball of Brilliance. The first one I posted got 1.4 million views. I filmed it right in your studio over there. And I filmed one again, like yesterday or the day before. And the first one was 28 seconds. And it had a song on it. And we can get into all of this details. There's 2 types of creators on TikTok. We'll get back to that in like 1 sec. Don't let me forget that. But there's, it went viral, and then it's 28 seconds. I filmed it again. It was like 9 seconds, and I posted it. It had a healthy number of shares. I took it down at 4,000 views. It had like 11 shares, which is like super good because usually, it's right on par for going viral.
Okay.
But because it was not the similar length of video to the first video, the algorithm accepted Nathan is now making longer form content. Instead of 8 seconds, it has to be at least 25 seconds long. I only know this because I study this shit, part of my language. I study this shit like a hawk.
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
I study this shit like a hawk, though, and I'm analyzing it 24/7, And so it's like, okay, that video is too short. Is my first diagnosis. It's like, it's not going to work. Okay, I take it down. I was like, I'll film another one tomorrow. That was yesterday. I filmed it again. It's 25 seconds long. And I made sure to like, it's like, all right, I have to spin the ball like a little bit harder this time. Like, because people were like, the video's too short. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, make it longer. And now the one that's up today has, just about 200,000 views in 8 hours. So this is healthy. And it might explode overnight. It's got 1,500 shares, 250 comments. I saw you
filming that just a little while. Yeah,
exactly. So I filmed it in your room at your house.
I know. I'm like, you good? Yeah.
Yeah. And
actually, I drank that bottle yesterday.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And so
that was lychee for anyone who wants to know.
But going back to the 2 types of creators.
Yes.
This is on TikTok. It's on TikTok only, what I've noticed. But there are creators who can use songs, and there are creators who cannot. And on TikTok, they're called sounds. So if you have a song playing in the background, it's called a sound, right? And so I started out doing these crazy milk explosion videos where I took a gallon of like expired milk. Yeah. I put rubber bands on them and they exploded if you took the cap off, right? Because I did that, and I would have 100,000 like duets, reaction videos, right? Because of that, I was labeled as a creator who makes their own sounds. People are going to react to the sound that I had put on TikTok. So I could not ever use songs that were already on TikTok. I couldn't do viral trends. I couldn't do any of that.
Because you were now in the sound creator.
Yes, I was a sound creator and I'm locked into it. And so the thing is, a lot of TikTokers, social media influencers make their money through sound promos. So like Lizzo putting out a song, Cardi B putting out a song, all these artists who are using songs, and that's how people would get paid. oftentimes. So they don't need to rely on views. The stability of like what I was going through, right? Where it's like 150,000 down to literally nothing, right?
But you bring up, I don't want to interrupt you, but you bring up something that I have to say.
Yeah.
How social media, especially TikTok, has changed the radio and music industry. I mean, it's unbelievable how the sounds you hear on TikTok, you now hear on the radio. And that's not an accident. I have a friend, we know him. He'll be here tomorrow, actually. And hundreds and hundreds of creators, they pay him, use that music. Boom. Now it's right. So it's interesting. I didn't see that angle. I always thought it was, very polished, produced, formulaic music. But now you're telling me people steal your jug of milk, hitting you in the face. What does that sound like, by the way?
Garbles. Oh, you should see the comment sections on those videos.
Right now,
they're adorable. Oh, it's so awful. But anyway, so it's like there are those two types of careers. So I haven't been able to use a sound for 2 years other than making my own. And so recently I was like, you know what? I'm going to start an entirely new series. I'm just going to try it where I use songs on my videos. And for that first Bottle of Brilliance video series I just started, I actually used a song on it. And when it went up to, it's at 1.4 now in just 2 or 3 days.
I didn't realize that.
3 days later, it's at 1.4 million. It's like, oh, I can use sounds on my videos that aren't mine now.
Can you see yourself in the reflection?
And it's just so nice to be able to have that where it's like, wow, I might be able to do sound promo someday. That's really cool. New source of income. But that's the thing, as a career, you need to have multiple sources of income because you can have brand deals and partnerships. Even if you're an actor. Oh, this is another crazy thing. So we work with some very high profile celebrities, and it's crazy getting them onto social media, onto TikTok especially, and Instagram, where, I'm getting, personally, I'll get a brand offer for like $10,000, right? And then we'll get our client on there who's, huge celebrity on the cover of Vogue over 60 times, like, amazing on TV, everything. And they're getting brand deals for like $500, $300. And it blows my mind because it's like the whole world knows who this person is. But because the number isn't there on this little device, they can't get the brand deals.
It's not about that.
They're significant.
They care about the views.
Well, no, but that's why so many people.
It wouldn't be smart for them.
No, but that's why so many people are trying to get onto social media, is because that's where the media is going now.
Well,
they literally write articles about Twitter. They write articles about TikToks. It's crazy what's happening nowadays.
I love to talk about stuff that I know is pretty much fact, right? And because that's what the whole purpose of this podcast is. I'm bringing anybody on who we can be like, dispel all the bullshit. I want to know 100% the meat. Now, with that said, you just brought up brand deals. It made me think about it. And for those that don't know what a brand deal is, it's when you get contacted directly by a brand. However, I know of a story, and I'm going to ask the one who's behind the cameras, who's usually in front of the cameras, Luke, to go grab my hat hanging in the studio, and he knows which one it is. And I want to talk about this story because I think it's fascinating because I think everybody who's watching sees Nathan and you, and they're like, oh, I'll never get to that level, whatever. And everybody's chasing you. But what's so unique, wait, how do I do? Might need more tequila.
We got to do our singing exercises.
Water.
Water. My bad, water. Speaking of brand deals, I need to get this as a brand deal. Oh, and this one, there's Luke, get in there. So hang on. As I pull this hat, which I think we could probably get, what do they do when they sample something to date it? Like dating the age of like fossils. I think we can go back and prove this is a 4-year-old one.
Oh, nice.
And I bought this hat about 4 years ago, right? As I see you wearing this one. And when you said Brandon, I was like, wait a minute. I think it's a fascinating story because when people hear how organic it can be, and I'll let you tell the story but I just had to bring this, because they're a great company.
They're amazing.
They're an amazing company.
So go ahead and give me the story about this.
So this is a company called Gore & Bros. They're one of the oldest hat companies in the world today. They were formed in 1895, circa 1895. And all that happened basically was it was the first time we were really ever hanging out with Luke pre-Anna times. I keep saying we pre-Anna times. So it was the first time I was like really hanging out with Luke, and he was like, "Oh, you should look up Gorin because they'll send you hats." And I was like, "No shit."
Now you want to hear the funny backstory?
Yeah.
I'm wearing this hat. Luke's like, "Dad, I don't think I can wear something that right?" Because he's not 18.
You need something more low key.
Yeah, a little low. Oh, I like that when you get your own hat made by them. But the punchline is, I'm like, "Okay, Luke." He's like, I think he has like 500 followers. Forget that he has Emmy nominations. He's been on all the national shows. I say, go ahead. And he reaches out. Obviously, look at kind of like, "Oh, you're a real actor." And, go ahead. And they pick any hat. We'll send it to you. I was like, and there you go. So I'm like, see, you're still an influencer. Even your numbers are this. Sure, he
Absolutely.
starts wearing it. Next thing you know, hanging out with you guys in LA. And now continue the story.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny, go on a little tangent. Like companies are crazy about micro influencers. The reason why is because rates for creators like us, where it's like we're in the millions of followers, we're charging thousands of dollars. So it's much harder where it's like, oh, wait, we can send product to somebody for free and they're excited to shout us out because we sent them a hat or a pair of headphones or whatever it might be. That's the most exciting for these companies because it's like they have so much extra product that they'll manufacture, or they might have something that's slightly defective that nobody would ever notice, and they can send it to people and be like, "Hey, you're trying to be an influencer? Well, we want to be So we want to support you. Yeah, we want to help support you. And we have extra stuff where it's like, one thread might be out. I'm not saying Gorin does this. I don't know what companies do that.
No, right.
However,
just
like this isn't like don't start spamming every company.
Yes,
but it's like, companies will send product and they get great exposure from it, because then it's like they might start a trend at a high school, and then all of a sudden that high school is blowing up because everybody's wearing their product or using their headphones or whatever it might be.
Right. Exactly.
But anyway.
And now you've got a huge brand deal with them. You guys, and look at how well they've done. You can't.
Oh, they're killing it.
Gorin is
it's
everywhere.
Such a good product. Like, I've worked with several brands. This is the best product I've ever worked with. I get excited to get products from them and ColourPop. Like, just the best hats I've ever worn. I'm not a hat person.
They are literally the best hats ever. They're so cool looking. They're so comfortable. They're so like trendy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's one that fits every personality.
Exactly. And they're always making new hats too every single month.
Oh, I know. I just saw the bucket. They're going to clothing. I'm excited for them. And just to know that bought this one 4 years ago. I could probably find the photo, but anyway.
But it's crazy. It is so crazy how it's like you can just message a company and they'll see it and they'll respond to you, oftentimes they'll respond and say, hey, like, we're not interested in working with you right now at this time, but if there's an opportunity later on. We call those PFOs in the opera world. Please fuck off. It was very gentle, very nice, but PFO, like, go away, but it's fine because they're very kind, you know what I mean? But it's in every industry, with acting, with music,
they just want to market their product media.
But it's like, it's like just one singular message turned into an amazing partnership, amazing relationship with the company. And it's happened several times with several companies. And it's just like crazy how it's like sky's the limit, And the thing is, these companies watch. They watch your TikToks, they watch your Instagram videos. Even if you only have 300 followers, you have to be careful what you are putting out there.
Oh my gosh. It's funny you say that because on a side note, yes, I actually did a Doritos one that got over 1 million views.
Nice.
And they sent a nice thank you. So I'm as much as I'm asking you questions, I understand, but I don't but as someone who's creating content, whether it's behind the camera making feature films in Hollywood, whatever, or doing my silly cooking ones, as we did last night in the kitchen.
That was awesome.
So how good was that food?
That was so good.
I gotta come up with a name for that sauce. I should put it. Somebody's got to name it. We can't call it Vic's Manberry sauce. Vicks Manberry sauce. I don't know if that's going to fly.
It could,
Well, who
though.
knows?
It depends.
I like it. You should just abbreviate it. So then people are like, what does it mean? And be like, oh, it's
VMB.
secret. Yeah.
MB sauce. MB.
MB sauce.
Okay.
MB sauce.
Yeah, but anyway, so the reason I say that is I do understand it, but I did not understand the YouTube aspects, the shorts, seeing what you're doing, where that's growing. And that's where I think as a content creator in today's world, if you have something unique or just something you want to share and you get to build a fan base, you can do it. You can.
Oh,
right?
and if you want to become a movie director or a TV actor, it's like YouTube is a TV network, and you have your own whole channel on that network.
Channel.
And it's like you can make it into anything you want. You can create any TV show. You can create any reality show. It could be whatever you want it to be.
And you don't need the fancy equipment. You don't need anything crazy like
No,
that.
absolutely. You
Exactly.
could just kind of chop it up and be like, here's what I'm going to do. And what excites me about today is back over all the years, there was a gatekeeper, right? And that was the networks.
Tell me
it
about
was
it.
the TV networks or
Dude, in the world of
or
classical
the distribution game
I know
or
it
whatever
too well.
it is. And now today, I think you know, like you guys, you can carve out your own channel.
Yes.
Would you? Okay, let me flip this back because this is getting now. Now I'm wearing 14 different hats. Would you say YouTube is the hardest
To grow on?
Yes.
to grow on? Yes, that was
Yes.
that wasn't
No.
even a.
Yes, it's the hard.
Instagram by far. I lose more followers the more I post.
Pinterest?
Okay,
What
okay,
a Pinterest?
No. Whoa. No.
Here, Instagram versus
shit
YouTube.
talk
These
him.
are the two hardest. The reason why is because with Instagram, it's not even really social media anymore. It's just media. It's basically like a magazine is how we see it, where it's like people are mostly my age, I would say, like 25 and plus, right? Where that's the primary. Yeah, just water.
Just water.
But like,
Just
it's
water.
so hard to get followers because everybody's already following all of the people that they want to be following. So as a new person, where it's like now you're on Reels, Instagram Reels, which is a new facet, people know what their like ways, they know what their follow ways. Because they know if I follow this person, they're going to become a content creator, an influencer, a celebrity, whatever you want to call it, right? So it's really hard to grow your following on Instagram. However, it is not hard to get views on Instagram. Viewership on Instagram still is occurring. However, with YouTube, and this is why I said YouTube first, and this is why Anna said Instagram first. With
because
YouTube,
I remember literally zero, now 500,000, and like those numbers. It's like
so with YouTube, it's still social media, which is a beautiful thing. People are going there for short form content. They're not going for a TV show or a movie. They're going for at most 30 minutes of content, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like it's an episode.
right.
And they love the short form content as well. And so what's cool about that is you can grow your following really healthfully. However, it is so difficult to get views on YouTube starting. So it's like you could put out the most amazing content of like let's pretend it's exposing Ryan Reynolds for some reason, right?
I love
Let's
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but it's like if you start
Should we expose him right now?
If you start a new YouTube account right now, that video, no matter how viral it might have gone on TikTok or anywhere else, if you're posting it from a brand new account, it will not get any views. It doesn't matter who shared it, how much watch time it has. It's with YouTube, you have to build a relationship with the algorithm where it takes.
But I like that, you know?
I like it too, because then it's
rewarding.
It's rewarding you for the time you're spending on the app. However, I don't like it because I don't like being a slave to the app. I don't like having
We're a slave to all the apps, though.
We're a slave to all
Except
the
for
apps,
Pinterest.
yes, except for Pinterest. But it's like they force you into posting over and over. And the reason why they do that is because they want to discourage you from posting because it's so oversaturated. It's so oversaturated on YouTube.
Gosh,
If we
yes,
think,
it's
I've
whole
heard people
industry.
say TikTok is oversaturated. YouTube puts oversaturation to a new word, to a new meaning, to a new level. And that's why it takes about 4 to 6 months of consistently posting every single day just to start getting views.
And it doesn't matter when, like what time. I posted 3 videos at like 10:30. And then would go to sleep, wake up the next day, do the same thing. All 3 videos at the same time, just hoping that something would happen. And then it started going off.
But then
Now,
once
what's
you
so
get the
good-
views, yeah.
all you guys watching, what's so unique is, and I know a lot of influencers, I know a lot of different people, but what's so unique and why I'm so excited to have you guys is you're you're a master in all the domains. You here we're talking YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, 10 million followers. But wait, Snapchat.
Oh, yeah. You kill it on Snapchat.
You're one of the, so what's so unique is the nuances and all those pieces of I'm not just here. I'm looking at the numbers. We've been spending this time. And I don't, you and I have talked about it, but I don't want to come out of my mouth. I want to come to yours. The different type of content for each of the kind of channels, if you will, or apps, fill somebody in who might not understand, just a high level.
Yeah. So every single platform has different things and different time requirements. So for example, at first, the minute-long videos that Anna would create for TikTok or for YouTube Shorts, all these things, right? Couldn't post that on Snapchat. You couldn't post that originally on Instagram or on YouTube Shorts. It used to be 15 seconds at most. And so she would struggle because it's her content is longer. It's still short form.
YouTube loves longer content for shorts.
Because they want the dwell, they want the advertising pushing
and I'm
out.
People on
it
YouTube,
does so much better.
If you're scrolling on YouTube Shorts, people actually want to watch the content that's on YouTube Shorts. On TikTok, they're looking for instant gratification. On Snapchat, they're looking for a meme. On Instagram, they're looking for it's similar. It's a mix of TikTok and YouTube, where it's they want to.
Oh, see, I thought it was duck lips and booty pics.
I mean, mostly, I would say.
Did you look at my Instagram?
Anyway, no.
Yeah, and so it's
like family. No, that's weird.
Yeah, each one is so different where it's for example, that waxing video that we were talking about, where it's I usually shorten those by those will be anywhere from 12 to 25 seconds. I'll shorten them to 10 seconds. Or if it's a 25 second, I'll shorten it to 15 seconds, where it's I know exactly how long the audience here on this planet, which is Snapchat, I know exactly how long they're going to watch this video. So I just need to shorten it just so slightly. Even if it's it's so funny because 0.2 seconds shaved off of a video makes 100 million view difference. The video that's up right now on my page, the 66 million viewed video, I posted that one day on TikTok and it completely died. It had no views. In 4 hours, it had 10,000 views. And for my videos, that's not common. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to delete this. And if we go to my deleted page, you can see every single video. I mean, this is the same video twice. I've reposted so many. These are the same two videos twice. This is the same video 3 times where it's just shaving it by 0.2 seconds. I need to shave it by 0.3. All right, let me refilm the exact same video, whatever it is, right? And so this video, I reposted it 2 weeks later, shaved it by 0.2 seconds. It went from that 10,000, it went to 70 million views.
Well, I remember
66 million.
It's funny. Scroll back because we hit it earlier. Wait, go down to the one we had earlier with the thing on the head. When you were throwing your dad and me. And
yeah. Here,
it wasn't far. It was very recent.
Yeah, it's right down here.
Because the reason I'm saying is I was watching you edit it. And
this one right here.
One,
yeah,
11 million views. And we're sitting at a restaurant. You're like, hey, I'm like, what are you doing?
5 seconds.
Right. We're in the middle of, there's a lot of people at dinner there that night. He's, and I'm,
And you know what's funny?
That was talking to Henry.
We did 3 or 4 takes.
And if I mention who Henry is, he'll kill me. Henry's.
We did 3 or 4 takes. That's actually the first take.
Right. And you just, but I was
magic.
watching, you're like, no, it has to be exactly like that. And I'm like, okay. And then now I look at here it is. That was only a few months ago.
But you know what? That one started slow. Where it's I think it got 400,000 in the first week, and then 2 weeks later, it exploded up to 7 million views.
Okay, now switching gears, consulting to people, and this is fascinating because I remember when you're like, "Oh, we're going to go meet this very famous woman, the supermodel, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, we're consulting. We're going to get help her with social media." As we're talking the other day in your car, you're like, "Now we've gotten her in what? Give me the stat."
Series.
Huh?
A viral series?
We brought her from 36 followers to over 100,000 followers.
In what time frame?
4 months.
Think about that.
5 months?
That's pretty impressive because so many people are struggling. So I'd like to say, if you're struggling, you're obviously, can I dare say you're not doing it right? Or is it?
I think
It depends.
there's a
I think,
magic
situation to
touch where
situation.
it's like, for somebody who's a celebrity, right, where it's like they're in movies, they're on TV, they need a spark to start. They need to collaborate just literally one time, I would say,
To ignite it.
to ignite it. It's like the Wile E. Coyote in the Roadrunner, right? Where it's like the Wile E. Coyote's got all the dynamite, he's got the gunpowder going. Am I allowed to say this anymore? Are you allowed to say the word gunpowder and dynamite
I don't know
anymore?
what you're
You
allowed
can't
to say.
say coyote,
Oh, let's
actually.
Okay.
we're going to close it out soon, and we're going to talk
Yeah.
about canceling. But go ahead.
Okay,
keep going.
cool, yeah. So it's like they have all of that, and it's like they have all of the everything that they need, right? That's their career, that's the cover of Vogue, that's whatever it is, right? And it's like we just go, psh, and it just sets it all into motion.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And that's and wow. So the question is that something where you come from because you're living in Cali and collaborating together with all these other people, or is it just something you feel?
What do you mean?
Like because you have so many opportunities to reach out to other people that you have the gunpowder
Right,
or
right,
or the spark, whatever the,
The
catalyst
flint,
you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
Or is it just something somebody sitting at home in their bedroom and like, I have this ability to do it?
Well, I mean, that's how it starts for people who aren't already like having prolific careers in the entertainment space. Like, again, the way I started was I was bored as fucking pandemic. My mom
Yeah,
has,
that's how
you
pretty
know,
much everyone started.
yeah, my
Bored.
mom's got cancer.
Or
Like, I'm not
pandemic.
allowed to leave the house, and all I have is me and my imagination.
For me, I just liked body
So
painting.
anybody, literally anybody, there. It's so funny how like we are our own worst enemies. It's the fear that we have of failing that prohibits us from succeeding. And so if you just say, you know what? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the worst that could happen?
Lean
If you
into it.
take that risk and you film something and it's
Put
like,
it out
whoa, I just got 1 million views, or I just got 10,000 views, or I just got 100,000 or even 1,000 just to start. My first TikTok got 14 views.
But now,
Really?
If I stopped at 14 views, I would not be where I am today.
so you got more than 14 views now. No,
Now I got more than 14
but you
views.
just said something super interesting, and it's like you almost teed me up and you didn't know it because you said, by the way, that is water. So I'm gonna wrap this up in a second. If you said you have to just have no fear and go there. Let's talk about canceled.
If you start now, you should have all of the fear.
Because literally you
man.
did a video, that same spinning one, whatever, and you're telling me people are
Yeah.
canceling you. Or not canceling.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
all the
they're like-
comments are, oh, well, you know, you can't
Yeah.
donate because my mom doesn't.
Yeah. So
What-
I made this video and it says, you know, it's a bottle spinning and it lands on your mom must give you $200. And the comments are all, my mom's dead. My mom's in jail. Thanks. I don't have one. Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
And because of that, TikTok will suppress your video because the comments are so negative and it thinks that I'm the impulse of this hateful, negative kind of community, which they don't want on their platform. So I'm not getting canceled, but the algorithm is trying to suppress my content because
so
of that.
as a creator, you just know no matter what you put that out there, people are not going to interpret it the way you mean it.
Sometimes,
In a
yeah.
fun, positive, they're going to find everything that's wrong or bring what's in their mind of what they want you to.
So actually, you know how I told you in the beginning I wanted to like be a good example for kids. It makes it really hard now because back in the day it was so much fun because everybody loved you. There was not as much hate. There's not as much you're going to get canceled for everything you do. Yes, TikTok specifically. And so now it's not as fun to create because I'm like, man, I'm going to do something wrong. I'm going to do a body paint that somebody's not going to like and say, you look like shit.
If
and
she
I'm
has
like,
one line out of place on her eyebrow, every single comment will be,
oh my
wow,
gosh.
there's that one thing wrong with her eyebrow. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with her eyebrow? It's like 5,000 comments that are like,
and it's like, I can
and
handle
that's
it.
just a joke.
It comes
That's
along with the
not really
territory. I get
what's
that,
happening.
but it's just like it's not fun as much fun as it used to be because now I'm so focused
And you
on all
spent
this hate.
14 hours doing it. You
Yes,
bought
and
all the stuff. You
well,
put
that's
all
why I
this
kinda stopped
instead of
doing body
appreciating your
paint.
creative. That's
But
Yeah,
that's also
'cause I'm like,
comes
I'm
with
not
the
gonna
older
create.
community. That comes with anybody 20 plus, 25 plus, where it's like that's the one that's jaded. That's the generation that's jaded. The younger kids, like at first they weren't trying to cancel anybody. They were just excited. They're just happy. And they might troll a little bit, but like the real trolls, the real cancel people are the older generations.
They're the ones that are just kind of
1996 is that Gen Z millennial line that I was born that year, right?
Right.
But it's like millennials are so jaded. They're so jaded. Gen Y, millennials, boomers, you know what I mean? Like all these older generations like really come in and say, that's actually kind of fucked up or like whatever. It's like, why would I ever let anybody, why would any mother give their child $200, right? For my video, for example, it's like they might come in and swoop in and start saying that.
If they didn't get $200 when they were a kid, you shouldn't get $200.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah, like, yes. I suffered, so you shall.
Yeah, and it's like, and it ruins everything because it's a domino effect, right? But anyway, go ahead. What were you
people
saying?
just know, but that's what I'm saying. It's a shame because people want to do this. They, there's some survey. I have no idea, but it's so many people want to be a creator. They want to be an influencer. They want to be you guys, and you're at the top of the game. And every time you're going to put a video out now, I know you both, so I know that's not in your head because you're great people and you're trying to push out a message and have fun. But the reality is, there's some people out there, whether legitimately the way they understood it or they're looking for the attention. They, and that's why it's like, how do you, I don't know if there's a way to say, how do you navigate it? But like you just said, there's generational things.
I think there's a way to navigate it.
I do.
I think don't be a piece of shit. Go do some community service. Go get down and dirty. Go to Skid Row and feed the homeless.
Yeah, but you never
do
put
not
that
film
on there.
it.
You would do
because
it.
I'm not going to exploit homeless people
privately.
like that. Yes, because it's about how you help the world, your relationship with those people,
so you
your
don't give a
relationship with
shit
the
what
community.
they comment on your stuff because you know deep down inside.
No, but I'm also
I'm not focused on y'all anymore.
Yeah, but
like,
we also won't make content like that because of who we are as people, what we do as people. Because it's like I see people, sure, it's like Logan Paul's donating all of this money from his Pokemon live stream to the suicide, foundations to help the people who are, needing help. That's a beautiful thing to do. I don't see him getting down and dirty. I don't think he gets down and dirty. He doesn't talk about it, but you can also tell that it's like by the things that he's putting out into the world where it's like, I want to see without him filming it, but it's like, you can talk about it where it's like, actually go make a difference in the world, get down and dirty, go take a homeless man to dinner, hear his story. Don't film it. Don't do it to exploit them. Don't do it for views. Just actually go be a somewhat decent human being. Go get Chipotle for $20 and hear somebody's story and humble yourself.
Grounded. Well, okay.
It's about making a difference.
I want
to
close this on a very nice note because that's exactly where we're at. And that's exactly what you're saying is, you're a creator. You appreciate what your fans are. I get it. And while I'm going to let everybody have an opportunity to ask questions, sorry guys, it's already been pre-recorded. It's not live, but I have a great studio audience out here. And we're going to let them come up with a question if there's something they want to ask you guys. But with that being said, is there anything I haven't asked you that you feel you want to share with everybody as a creator, as advice, just kind of, where you're at today and what you see happening in 2023? Yeah.
More saturation.
Yeah,
like just more people going to become on the app. It's just going to be people who are going to go in and out constantly. That's just,
and that's okay though. It's like I think it's good that people express themselves through this platform, through these platforms. But I would definitely say, have a purpose, have a good reason why you go onto the platform. Because if you go on just to become famous, and then you become famous, you will fall off so fast. It'll come and go so quickly. It's as fast as blinking your eyes.
The fame is a byproduct, not the goal, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, I originally got on to share my art. And once I felt myself kind of doing it for views, I'm like, no, I don't want to do something just for the views. I'm doing this art because I love it, not because I want Janice to see it or Nick. I want to be able to create because it destroys.
No.
Yeah, no, not Nick.
No, definitely not Nick.
No, not Nick.
That's awesome, and that's what I think is. Well, that's why you get to these numbers, and 350 million likes. It's kind of a big number, and that's just one of your platforms, bro.
Yeah.
So obviously you're doing something right, and. If anything, take away some of the lessons of what you're hearing. And I think everybody's looking for that Insta fame. We covered that earlier versus the marathon of actors who have been doing, and it's just it's a different approach to content. You've sang with Bocelli. You've done some amazing stuff, and now
Seth MacFarlane,
you're
Josh
tattooing
Groban.
shit all over your body.
I got so many games of tic-tac-toe on my leg
her
now.
phone off the balcony.
Oh my gosh!
And now you're consulting to people all in LA and all around the globe, doing amazing stuff. And
it breaks up the TikTok, it's fun to do on the side.
So what happens when TikTok's gone? Where do we go? Okay, with
Just
that
still
said,
making a difference in the
with that
world.
said, we'll be back.
Anybody any questions? So the question then is, the higher view numbership to get the brands to sponsor, put the money up versus the content you want that's not getting the higher views?
So what's interesting about that is like on a page, usually on TikTok, people become known for having series. And if you have low views on a video that's not that series, that's actually okay. It's okay to experiment with TikTok and kind of post whatever you feel passionate about. And it's like, all right, I'm trying to find the next series while I still have my main series, right? And hopefully eventually, like what I do personally and what we do for our clients is that we get like 7 series so that you have something every single day of the week to post. And then it's like you rotate through. So it's like, for example, like the Milk Explosion series I used to do, it's like, okay, it's getting taken down every single time by the TikTok algorithm for, they think I'm self-inflicting pain. And it says, please call this hotline if you're thinking about committing suicide. And they start taking down those videos, and the Karen videos became bullying and harassment. And then, the waxing videos became minor safety because I'm hurting myself because I'm waxing or whatever it might be, right? And then, you have to rotate through, things change, and that's okay. So it's like you might be experimenting, but it's like then you get a brand deal for the Balls of Fate, like on my page, right? Where it's like I have Balls of Fate, I have the cat mode, I have oh my gosh, I have so many. Yeah, Balls
She's
of Brilliance, She's of Truth, like all these different series that I can do. So that's like cool. And again, it's like it's good to experiment, because if you don't try it all, then you'll never succeed. So you got to try to diversify. So it's like I would say keep having your main series that you'll do, and then try doing that other content, because they won't care so much about the other content. They'll say, hey, for that series for Balls of Fate, can you do a brand deal? Let's pretend it's McDonald's, where it's like, hey, like McDonald's wants to hire you to do a Balls of Fate. Here's $10,000 for that series.
Also, I would like to say, if you really do enjoy like that specific video that you made, what's great is there's 50 other platforms to put it on where it could potentially do 10 times better. I've had a video where it did like 100,000 on TikTok and then got 10 million on YouTube. Just all of the apps are different. So it may do better on a different
Right. That's what I was talking about earlier with all the multiple platforms
That's
that
the
you guys
best
have.
part.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have really figured a great methodology for approaching content, good content creation, and not just being like, I'm going to put it on TikTok. I'm going to be, you know what I mean? And if anybody takes anything away from this, it's kind of follow your leads, as you said. Don't do it for the fame.
No.
Do it for the content. Find the different
Your passion.
channels. Put some passion. And as like they say in anything, you do it and the money will come, right? You got it. You just, and I know you guys live that and you see it. All right. So thanks for coming on the House of Chaos.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having
like
me.
19 different names.
Yes.
And next time we'll be tuning in. You guys are getting the benefit of some insane consulting, some insane brains who are doing quite well in the social media space and now moving on and helping actors, which is kind of our main focus. But honestly, it's about the entertainment space and it's all merging. And let's, if we keep this going in 10 years from now, I kind of think it's all going to blur, right?
Absolutely.
So with that said, thanks very much. Happy New Year. You'll probably be watching this in 2023, but as we close out 2022. Love you guys. Cheers. Ciao. Oh my God, we're getting applause from our audience.
Our audience have always
That means
wanted this.
It's probably because we're done. It wasn't because of me. You guys did a great job.
That was awesome, man. Oh, the headphones that weren't on.